Welcome into sports. I'm Michael Gross. Week 6 of high school football begins tomorrow night. And with each week, the storylines get thicker and thicker. Myself and our wonderful sports crew have handpicked 3 games to keep an eye on when kickoff comes around on Friday night. Let's take a look. Lots of exciting matchups around the Tri-State. Undefeated Heritage Hills goes on the road against Gibson Southern. This week's MVP, Sean DeLong, looks to build off of last week's performance with the Titans, but will have to do so against a defense that hasn't allowed a point in each of the last 2 weeks. The Huskies, well, they head to the bowl to take on Mater Dei. Canaan Northington, and the run game at North has been lethal so far this season. But the real question is, can Mater Dei keep up with a bit of a stagnant offense? And lastly, our game of the week. Undefeated Wrights heads to Castle to take on a Doug Hurt team in desperate need of a statement win at 3-2 this season. So will there be trouble in paradise? You'll have to wait and see. Let's bring in 2 of our experts in Colin Davies and the voice of Bossy Field, Zane Clodfelter. We'll start with Colin here. Gibson Southern has won each of the last 4 matchups against Heritage Hills. But the last time Heritage Hills went 6-0 was in 2019. That was actually their 6th win that year, was their last win against Gibson Southern. Can the Titans keep that streak alive and win 5 in a row?
Well, this is the matchup that everyone's waiting for. For Gibson Southern, their tough schedule to start the season should prepare them for this moment. The Titans have found their rhythm the past few weeks on offense, scoring at least 28 in their last 3 games. That production comes from both their quarterback Tanner Halvig, but the players that have been rock steady is the home team's Friday reigning MVP, Sean DeLong. He got 142 yards and 2 touchdowns against a rock-solid Southbridge defense, but Heritage Hills is on a whole nother level.
Colin, a 10-point second quarter last week was enough to lift Heritage Hills to a 5-0 record, but the Patriots will certainly need more offense if they want to snap a 5-game losing skid to Gibson Southern and beat the Titans for the first time since the postseason in 2019. Against North Posey, Heritage Hills did most of its damage on the ground, with the Patriots running for over 160 yards, but struggled in the passing game with just 1 completion and 7 attempts. Jet Goldsberry will have to be a threat passing for the Patriots to win.
Yeah, I mean, Todd Wilkerson, the head coach for Heritage Hills, he talked about how this game, even though it's no longer a sectional game, they feel like it's almost like their championship every time they play Gibson Southern. All right, North taking on Mater Dei at the bowl. Zane, there was a chance that this game was looked at as a possible game of the week contender when we came along here, but both teams kind of slacking so far this season. What can you tell us about the Wildcats?
Well, Michael, Mater Dei's offense struggled to find consistency last week in another loss, and a big reason why was the Wildcats' inability to find open space in the field to run the ball. Mater Dei finished with just 64 rushing yards, something you don't see from the Wildcats very often. The passing game behind Tate Mallory was effective at times, but 2 costly interceptions hindered Mater Dei's chances to win. Sitting at 1-4 midway through the season, Mater Dei needs a balanced offensive attack that allows the chance for the Wildcats defense to get off the field.
Well, on North side, they have to use what is, for them, most striking when you look at this team, their size. The Huskies are big up front on both sides of the ball, and they can dominate the lines because the Wildcats are on the smaller side. When watching this game, the North defensive line is a unit that should stand out. The same unit that forced 2 safeties on 2 drives earlier in the season. We'll see how much of a factor the physicality is in this game.
You know, there's a team that is physical throughout this season so far. We've seen a lot from them. That's Wrights. And Wrights, well, they're going to take on Castle in Paradise. And when we take a look at this game, this brings us so many amazing possibilities on the offensive end and on the defensive end. Both teams with really incredible offenses. But Colin, in our game of the week, who has the advantage?
Well, there's 2 teams that, as of right now, look state championship worthy in Southern Indiana. Of course, Heritage Hills, one of them, and the other is this Wrights team. The Panthers can beat you any which way because that's their versatility they have. And there's no better example of it on this team than Roland Rivera Jr., who routinely will run, catch, and pass for Wrights. He's done each of those things exceptionally well, especially making plays on deep balls the past couple of weeks. It's just been thrown up and see what he can do, and Rivera Jr. has delivered. And if he gets going, this team won't be stopped.
Colin, a slow start against Vincent's Lincoln a week ago doomed Castle in a 26-21 loss despite a valiant effort by the Knights in the 4th quarter offensively. Antonio Harris and Max McCool carried the load, with the duo combining for 300 yards rushing. The problem for Castle, well, the Alices were also able to run at will, and the Knights were unable to contain Xander Hunt in the process. This game will put Castle's defense to test, so it'll be up to the offense to start well early and create some pressure on the opposing
passing the sideline.
Yeah, and they're going to have to start really quickly because we take a look at the numbers here in the game of the week. Wright and Castle not far apart offensively. The Roland Vera Jr. and Ben Davies connection strong as ever with Hayden Summers for the Panthers. But Antonio Harris and Mr. Maxwell Cool run that juggernaut of an offense that is the Castle Knights. The biggest thing to think about is defensively. If you take a look at the numbers, under 6 points allowed per game through 5 for the best team in Southern Indiana in the Wrights Panthers. But Castle's defense, they do show some promise. To find out who wins this one, tune in tomorrow night at 6:30 Central to watch the game of the week only on TriStateHomepage.com. And after the conclusion of that game, tune in tomorrow for another recap of the high school football landscape. We can't wait to bring you the best highlights and storylines of the week right here on Home Team Friday. We'll be right back.